Today I'm going to rank my top 10 centre midfield wonderkids on Football Manager 2022. Now they have to be 20 years or under, they have to be a natural in centre midfield, and I'm going to be judging these on their potential, on their current ability, on their value, how much it's going to cost you to buy them, and of course the hidden attributes. Not to mention if they're actually achievable to buy. Which means players like Jude Bellingham, unfortunately, is not going to be on this list. I know he's the best centre midfield wonderkid on the game, but you can't necessarily buy him unless you're at a world-class club, so he's not included. Number 10. Abdullah Ba. Now we start off at Le Havre. He is 17 years of age, is Abdullah Ba. He is a very good centre midfielder at the start of the game. He has a current ability of 106 with a potential range of 160. Because he plays in the French League 2, he's a lot more achievable to buy than what he would be if he was in the division above, which I think makes him more appealing. However, he has a 0 for professionalism, which means it is random every single time you load him into the game. As we can see here, his personality here is balanced, which tells me he doesn't have the best professionalism. But when you add him in, if he has that fairly professional personality, maybe that is definitely a time to strike, because he still has 12 for consistency and 14 for important matches. A bit of an all-rounder, and of course he's very cheap. 300k to £3 million. It might be worth taking a gamble on him in the start of the season anyway, despite his low professionalism, if he does have low professionalism, because you could probably make a big profit out of them. Other than that, he's a fantastic player. By the way, if you've used any of these players before during your time playing Football Manager, please let me know down in the comments, or let me know your top 10. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Number 9, Martin Neto. Now with a current ability of 109, with that potential range of 160 again, Neto you can find in the Benfica B team. He's 18 years of age at the start of the game, but he looks rather decent, to be honest, for somebody who only has the current ability of 109. He does, however, have some great hidden attributes. A fixed professionalism of 15, and professionalism, just in case you didn't know, is probably the best hidden attribute for player development, which means we want to see a high professionalism when you buy these wonderkids so that they are more likely to reach their potential. You'll see them training harder and you'll see them progress quicker. Consistency of 13 and important matches of 12, and that determination of 15 is a fixed attribute too. What I like about Martin is his height to begin with, but how well he is all well rounded. He can play that box-to-box midfielder role, but if you need him to play deeper, deep line playmaker for instance, he has that good composure and decision making, not to mention 10 tackling at 18 years of age. Build that up and you can have a very good defensive midfielder as well. He kind of does it all. £2 million to £4 million is his value. You can see that is exactly how much it will cost you if you can persuade him to leave Benfica. Number 8, Kaspar Kozlowski. Now, a player that I expect all of you to be putting down in the suggestions in the comments, because I'm guessing a lot of you has used him. I always get suggested him, to be fair, in the comment section, even when I'm not talking about wonderkids. With a current ability of 110 in that 170 potential range, this guy is obviously very achievable to buy at the start of the game, being that he is playing in the Polish top division and he always looks like he leaves in that first transfer window. He has professionalism of 13. His determination is fixed as well at 16, and he has the consistency of 13. The only letdown really is his important matches of 11, which isn't the worst that you're going to see today, but it's definitely not the best, of course. Now, he doesn't have the best physicals, but what he is very good at is that kind of deep line or attacking playmaker. That 14 passing with 15 vision, that 12 first touch and 11 dribbling. You'll start to see once you take him to a club with good training facilities, because he has 13 professionalism and he'll start training well, you'll start to see these attributes increase rather quickly. 1.6 to 3.2 million pound is his value, but if you ask the agent, what's weird is that he's not actually interested in joining to begin with, only on a loan. However, you can get an offer of 1.6 to 3.5 million pound accepted to buy him. Number 7, Williot Sedberg. Another rather popular nomination here, because I'm guessing a lot of you has used this guy as well. The fact that he plays for Hammarby in the Swedish league makes him rather achievable, which is obviously a standout. And he looks very good at the start of the game for 17 years of age. 105 is his current ability, and he is in the 170 potential range. But that's not what makes him really appealing to me, because he has 15 for professionalism, 13 for consistency, and that determination of 14 is a fixed determination as well. He has a random important matches, which is obviously can be good, can be bad, but his value of 300k to 3.1 million pound makes him extremely cheap. 800k to 8 million pound to make the deal possible. However, he has just signed a new contract, so it will take some persuading. Maybe you just have to wait a couple of months and you can prize this man away from Sweden, but definitely worth it if you can do so. By the way, if you're watching this right now, would it be too much to ask for 1,000 likes on this video? It really helps the YouTube algorithm. It sends it out to more people. It helps me, and then just the channel grows, so I appreciate it. Number 6, Luka Sucha. Now, a player that I have used recently in a rebuild for Fiorentina, and he was fantastic. He is in the 170 potential range, with the highest current ability we have seen so far of 120. And believe me, I wanted to put him higher because he also has professionalism of 17, which means he will most likely reach his full potential because of how good professionalism is. However, the consistency is down at 11 and important matches is down at 6, and that determination unfortunately is a random. So I could not put him as high as what I really wanted him to, but there is a lot to still like about him. He has great physical attributes. He already looks like a bit of a beast. He plays at Red Bull Salzburg, so if you are a big European club, you should be able to get him, but it's still going to cost you a little bit of money. As we can see, his valuation is rather high, 11.5 to 14 million pound should be what it would take. Again, he has just signed a new contract. I hate that they never want to sign after they've just signed a new contract. Number 5, Johnny. Now, an American international, only at 19 years of age, but playing in the Brazilian league. I was fascinated by this guy because I think he looks fantastic, and he's a natural playing in that defensive midfielder option as well, which I know a lot of you guys will be using this year. Now, there's a lot to like about Johnny as well. 112 current ability in that 160 potential range. I know it's slightly lower than some that we have seen previously, but I really like this guy. He has 13 for professionalism, 13 for consistency, 13 for important matches, and that 13 determination is fixed. The reason why he sits so high on the list and higher than players like Luka Sucha is the fact that you can probably pick him up from whatever club you're in, because you will most likely want to be playing in a better level than the Brazilian league. 2 million to 4.1 million pound is all it would take to prize him away, and I think he looks like a quality player to start out with. He can play in a number of different roles as well. I can see this guy being a defensive midfielder, maybe even a roaming playmaker, but if you are looking to play him in a Mazzala, I think he could do a good job there too, with decent dribbling and first touch, play around with some decent player traits, and I think you have an absolute star on your hands. Number 4, Nicholas Sievald. Now, my Austrian is never quite great, so if I have butchered his name, I do apologise, but still, 20 years of age, I'm sure you guys have come across this player before. Another player from the Red Bull Salzburg. I mean, we're going to see a lot of players from the Red Bull teams. They always sign the good youngsters, and they are very highly rated on the game. What is there to like about this guy? Well, we can see straight away he has great attributes for a 20-year-old. Current ability of 124. He sits in the 170 potential range. However, the big downside of Nicholas, and the reason why I haven't put him higher, is he has a random professionalism. I'm just as gutted as what you are. 12 for consistency, 12 for important matches. That determination is fixed. The reason why he still sits so high, though, is because he is probably the highest current ability player on this list. He is 20 years of age, and you can pick him up for so cheap. Just 4.7 to 7.2 million pound to make the deal happen, and you already have a starting player, I'd say, in the Premier League. If you're in the lower end of the Premier League, this would be the guy I'd be going for. For another 10 years, he would be an amazing centre midfielder for you. Not to mention, I've seen him at his maximum, and he is literally insane. Again, can play in many different roles. Play in the DM role, can play in the centre midfield role. I like Nicholas a lot. Number 3, Raphael Luis. A 16-year-old makes the top 3, and for a very good reason. He only has a current ability of 77, and he is in the 170 potential range, but his hidden attributes for a 16-year-old are the best that I think I've ever seen on Football Manager. professionalism of 18, consistency of 16, important matches of 12, and that determination there of 16 as well. He is a model citizen personality fixed in the game at 16 years of age. It's quite incredible. Not to mention, he has so many good strengths when you start progressing him, which he obviously will with that high professionalism and good training routines. You can see him progress into a world-class centre midfielder. Plays in the deep role or in that midfield centre. You can play him in so many different roles like we've mentioned, but that's not even the best part of it. He is an approach assigned player, meaning that if you go to make an offer, you can literally pick him up on a steal for less than £1 million. It is an absolute joke. Even if you remove the percentage of next sale, you can pick him up. There we go, 875k without even bargaining. And that is just way too good to turn down. Number 2, Guilherme Santos. Very much like Raphael Luiz, this guy is up there because he has fantastic professionalism. We'll start off though, his current ability is 80. He has the potential range of 170, and he is only 16 years of age with fantastic hidden attributes. Professionalism of 15, consistency of 12, important matches of 12, and that fixed determination. The reason why he sits slightly higher than Raphael Luiz, he has great player traits. Tries killer balls often, plays 1-2s, dictates the tempo. I love how good those player traits are. He plays in centre midfield role, but he can also play in behind the striker. And I've seen him at his maximum, and as a shadow striker, he looks rather tasty too. Now, he has a professional contract, but even still, when you ask, 170k to 1.7 million pound is all it will take to have your offer accepted. Those two last players you should be making an offer for every single time you start a new game with a top tier club. Number 1, Samuel Ricky. Okay, so hear me out. Yes, he is valued at 13 to 19 million pound, a lot higher than the previous two positions, and he doesn't look necessarily a well beater compared to the last two. He does have a current ability of 127, which is extortionately high, and it is the highest on this list. But that potential range is higher than anybody else at 180. Professionalism as well is set to 15. Consistency is set to 12. Important matches set to 13. And that determination of 16 is fixed as well. Now, the one reason why I have put this guy on the list is he plays for Empoli. 9 times out of 10, whenever I've done a simulation or played a season, Empoli seem to be the team who finishes bottom of Serie A, meaning that his valuation might not be how much you actually have to pay because he always wants to leave. I very rarely see him playing in the Serie B. In fact, I don't think I have at all. So if it is going to cost you 12 to 19 million pound at the start of the game, maybe just wait till the end of the season, see how that pans out. Because my God, what a player you have on your hands in the 180 potential range. He has fantastic player traits as well. He's very much a well-rounder. He can do any type of role or position that you would like him to do. I think he is absolutely fantastic, and that's why he tops our list. So there we have it again. Let me know your thoughts. Have you used any of these players? Who do you have in your top 10? Smash that like button for me. I really do appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.